welcome you to the opening reception of the Dianne Whitfield-Locke and Cornell Locke collection, Building on Tradition. We're so pleased that not only is she a collector, but she's very generous with her collection, that she allowed it to be seen at Hampton last year, and that she allowed us to provide a version of that show here this fall. Some of you who saw it there might remember several key pieces that you're seeing in the spaces here. Some of you who saw it there might be seeing some new pieces, because as collectors, they have this thing called collector's fever, and it's not satisfied until they add things to their collection, regardless of how large it might be. We have a few over 50 pieces here in the two spaces, and they represent just a small portion of about 1,100, 1,300 pieces that the Locks have assembled. And as you have probably noticed by going through the two spaces here, the Locks have assembled 19th century pieces, pieces from the Harlem Renaissance, the early 20s, 30s, 40s, as well as artists who are working today. Their collection includes works on paper, paintings, tabletops. Dr. Frederick, you're hiding. I don't see.
I'm really appreciative for what is taking place here today and what has been taking place in the Division of Fine Arts. We're very committed here at the university to support displaying collections like these. It just reminds me of the fact that we must slow down. As Howard Tillman says, we must center down. We must take a moment to let the traffic of our minds come to a halt. And there's no better way when you bring that traffic to a halt than to do things like this, to come together with friends and family, and we consider ourselves here now with a family, and share something special like this, something that does not speak to probably what we do 9 to 5 during the day, but certainly gives us some type of comfort, and something that we can stop and admire and recognize that there's so much more to what we do. There's so much more to who we are, and certainly I hope that that's one of the things that you will appreciate here. So we appreciate the efforts that you've put together getting this collection, and we certainly appreciate the fact that you're willing to share it with us in such a warm and open fashion. So we appreciate it very, very much. I appreciate you for coming out, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Cornell and I are delighted to be back at home here at Howard University. We met at the College of Dentistry and have been together ever since. Yeah, Howard. It was our pleasure to share a few works from our collection. We are strongly encouraged that so many of you have come to share a part of our heritage. The wonderful legacy of Howard University continues. The earlier artists were the nucleus of our art, beginning with the three James, as I call them: James Herring, James Porter, and what's the last one, guys?
James Wells.
James Wells. This is the nucleus of African American art, okay? It started right here in the hall, well, different halls, in this university, and we must respect that and continue the legacy. The art began with also Lois Jones, Elizabeth Catlett. Catlett was a student. She graduated from Howard University. Former faculty included Jeff Donaldson. And also, we have our wonderful Dr. Samantha Bullock, who's here today, and she left. She's wonderful, wonderful faculty that we have here. Dr. Samantha Bullock. Later we had Lou Stovall come, and we had Dr. Tradovia Benjamin. Many of you came to her memorial. Okay. And Dr. Fuller Cole. Today we have promising faculty who have continued the legacy. For example, Vonna Kelly Anderson, James Phillips, Michael Platt, Ronald Beverly, Terry DeVarvin, Minnie Owens, to name a few. We have a legacy at Howard University, and it has to continue. It has to continue. Please support the annual James Porter Colloquium and the numerous exhibitions at Howard University. Cornell and I are giving a print to the university, a gift to the university. And this print is titled The Survivor by Elizabeth Catton. The title is appropriate to Howard University's art department and continuing because it is survival. This is what we're struggling with. We need all of you to do the 3 C's. Commit. Commit to coming to our events. Commit to contributing. Okay? And commit to come to everything that we have here, because this is the only way we get the support of the university from outside the university. And as alumni, it is imperative that you see the need for this to continue. I'm getting close to ending, guys. I'm not going to talk about it. Lastly, I would like to please support, for you to please support our local and contemporary artists. It is essential that we buy their art, visit their exhibitions, and share information concerning their work. Because they're not in the mainstream, many of them, they're not in the major galleries. You're not going to see them oftentimes their advertisements, you know, in the newspaper, journals, etc. But we have to support, because Howard has enough events going on, along with the Driscoll Center, UMUC, and now that Dr. Adwell is working with American Youth. We got to go on American Youth. He's also working with National Gallery of Art. He's got things going on. I mean, when he had Miller, who's on Wall Street, one of the stock brokers on Wall Street, and the National Gallery, I saw many of you there supporting endeavors that he is engaged in, and we have to continue that. We must support anything that. I mean, first of all, our collection. I want to regress 1 second. Our collection is multicultural. This is the world. We have a Delacroix. We have a Delacroix. 1955. We have one of the most valuable pieces in our collection is a French Renaissance person. We do not have we have a predominantly African American collection, but it's not 100%. We have Chagall, Picasso, Renoir, Matisse. We have it all. Okay? But when you come to Howard University, you're going to see, number one, many of these people on our walls were faculty here at Howard University. They walked the walk here and they taught. Okay, they taught. Now, I strongly encourage you to buy at least one African American sculpture. And I push sculpture because I know many of you go to Africa and you go and you buy, I call it airport art. It's airport art. You don't know who the artist is. You don't know who the master carver are. But in Africa, they have families, the father, the grandfather, the uncle, the son. So if you're going to buy the art, know the family history. Just don't buy a piece of airport art. Oh, I bought that from Africa. I was in Nigeria. No. Know who you're buying. Okay, that's the lecture there. But I'm serious because I believe in reading. You must read to educate yourself. And you must go to the museums in the area. We're blessed in Washington. You know, all these free museums that we go to. When Cornell and I were in Boca Raton, we walked into the Museum of Boca Raton, and I walked in, I'm all excited, I got my little Smithsonian, you know, my little thing that says I can go to these different museums across the country. And I walked in, I said, oh, you know, I'm a member of the Smithsonian. Excuse me? The Smithsonian said, excuse me? The largest, museum in the world. You don't know about the Smithsonian? She's somebody who works on the weekends, a docent or whatever. And so I said, ma'am, let me educate you about this. When I finished, she said, ma'am, just go on in. No, we don't reciprocate, but just go on in. Thank you very much for the information. That is our mission. Our mission is to educate and to teach other people. Because wherever we travel, if it's out of the country, in the country, we go to a museum. And we see and we look at ethnic work across the world. And that's how we're collecting. Okay. I want to say to you that we have three-dimensional art here all around. It is so inspiring. It's absolutely inspiring to get three-dimensional work. Weissman from Serengeti was so integral in helping me get one of the works I was pushing to get in this show Bryson, thank you, much love, thank you so very much. Because it was not going to be in this show.
No, it was not. But, but you know, we do have a bit more flexibility when the collector doesn't live too far. We have collectors who are collecting, who have the generous spirit, like the Locks have, who don't just, you know, hoard them away, and one can only find out if ever you see it maybe in a footnote of a, you know, journal article that a work is in that collection. But we're so grateful that they have the spirit of generosity, and they have allowed us just a glimpse as us in a setting like this. Thank you so much for coming, and please enjoy.